The complete Grimm's fairy tales. The Tailor in Heaven. One very fine day it came to pass that God wished to enjoy himself in the heavenly garden, and took all the apostles and saints with him, so no one stayed in heaven but St. Peter. The Lord had commanded him to, to let no one in during his absence, so Peter stood by the door and kept watch. Before long someone knocked. Peter asked who was there, and what he wanted. "I am a poor honest tailor who prays admission," replied the smooth voice. "Honest indeed," said Peter, "like a thief on the gallows. You must have been light-fingered and have snipped people's clothes away. You will not get into heaven. The Lord has forbidden me to take anyone in while he is out." "Oh, come, do be merciful," cried the tailor. "Little scraps which fall off the table of their own accord are not stolen, and are not worth speaking about. Look, I am lame and have blisters on my feet from walking here. I cannot possibly turn back again. Please just let me in. I will do all the dirty work. I'll carry all the children, wash their clothes, scrub and clean the benches and on which they have been playing, patch all their torn frocks." St. Peter let him in himself be moved by pity and opened the door of heaven just wide enough for the little lame tailor to slip his lean body in. He was forced to sit down in a corner behind the door and told to wait quietly and peacefully, in order that the Lord, when he returned, might not observe him and be angry. The tailor obeyed, but once when St. Peter went outside the door, he got up and, full of curiosity, peeped into every corner of heaven and inspected the arrangement for the whole place. And at length he came to a spot where many beautiful and precious chairs were standing, and in the midst was a seat with all gold and was shining like jewels. Likewise, it was much lighter than the other chairs, and a footstool of gold was before it. It was the seat, however, on which the Lord sat when he was at home, and from which he could see all that opened on earth. The tailor stood still and looked a long time at the seat, and for a long time it pleased him better than nothing else. At last he could master his curiosity no longer, and climbed up and seated himself in the chair. Then he saw everything which was happening on earth, and observed an ugly old woman who was standing washing beside a stream, secretly laying two veils on one side for herself. The sight of this made the tailor so angry he laid hold of the golden footstool and threw it down onto earth at the old thief. But since he could not bring the stool back again, he slipped quietly out of the chair and seated himself in the place behind the door, and behaved as if he had never stirred from the spot. When the Lord Master returned home again with his heavenly companions, he did not see the old tailor behind the door, and when he went to seat himself on the chair, the footstool was missing. He asked St. Peter what had become of the stool, but he did not know. Then he asked if he'd let anyone in. "I know of no one who has been here," answered Peter, "but a lame tailor who is still sitting behind the door." When the Lord had the tailor brought before him, he asked if he had taken the stool away, and where he had put it. "Oh, Lord," answered the tailor joyously, "I threw it in my anger down at earth at some old woman I saw stealing two veils at the washin." "Oh, you have," said the Lord. Were I to judge as you judge, how do you think you could have escaped for so long? I should have long ago have had no chairs, benches, seats, nay, not even an oven fork, but should have been thrown everything down at sinners. Henceforth you can stay no longer in heaven, but you must go outside the door again. Then go where you will. No one shall give punishment here, but I, the Lord." Peter was obliged to put the tailor out of heaven, and he had torn shoes and feet covered with blisters, and he took a stick with his hand and went, "Wait a while, where the good soldiers sit and make merry."